myself. There we go. All right. And we are live. Guys, welcome to your next episode of Coffee and Conversations with Champions. We are chatting to M3 multiple world champion Mike Rodriguez. So let's cross over. Let me just get the camera right here. There we go. We're going to cross over now to Mike. And Mike, can you hear us?
Oh, was that today? You caught me so unprepared. I'm so embarrassed.
This is how you spend the day normally, right? Walking around the house with all your medals on.
Yeah. Today's like medal day. Clean up my best lifter awards.
Yeah, your multiple best lifter awards. There we go. Jeez, Mike, firstly, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for this. Just be careful. Is that how you train, by the way?
Yeah, instead of a weight vest, I just put the medals on.
Absolutely phenomenal. I love it. So, listen, there was a lot of medals there. How many medals are we sitting with? And good to see that you clean them and look after them, right?
Yeah. I'm trying to get where the light's not going to be a problem.
Okay, yeah, that's looking pretty good. Okay, sure. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Absolutely fantastic. Thank you. Awesome to see you. So a quick question. We chatted a lot and I want to talk to you about Masters and how everything was going at the comp. But did you have a problem with being overweight with everything, all the medals and the trophies you had to take back?
Yeah, I did. Leaving South Africa, I had to pay, I don't know, an overweight fee.
That's absolutely phenomenal. And that's not just the gifts taking back for the family, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Phenomenal. Are you comfortable where you are? Then I can zoom in on you a little bit now and bring that in. There we go. Okay, beautiful. And also, I just have to leave the Ranger up in the back there as well because that's looking pretty good. There we go. All right. So, Mike, it was such a great comp. It was awesome to see you. Awesome to hang out. You helped hugely with me being able to rest my voice. I mean, the voice was taken out for a couple of weeks where you helped me with the announcing. So let's jump on it. How was Cape Town for you? And we got to go out for Italian food to your friend's restaurant. So that was really special.
Yeah, excuse me. I really enjoyed my time down there. Just a shout out to Dane, the manager of the hotel that we stayed in.
What a legend, huh?
He treated me really well. I think he treated all of us really well. Their breakfast buffet was second to none, just awesome. A lot of days I didn't get to really enjoy it because I was worried about, my weight, but the couple of days that I did get to enjoy it, I appreciated it being there.
And how was the view? Yeah, how was the view from that rest? Sorry to interrupt, but how was the view from that restaurant?
Oh yeah, the view was awesome. It was a 360 of the area, so you could either sit and look out at the ocean, or you could sit in a different spot and you'd have half ocean, half. What do they call it? Lion's Head?
Lion's Head, yeah. Lion's Head and Signal Hill. Yep.
Yeah, and then you could sit in a different part and you could look up at a Flat Top. So, watching Flat Top was cool because some mornings the clouds would be coming over the cliff-like face of it, which was just absolutely beautiful.
Awesome. There's a story with Table Mountain, and that's what's called Devil's Peak. You got Lion's Head, Table Mountain, and then Devil's Peak at the end. And I think the gentleman's name was not Van Kamp. My South African guys are going to shout at me, but there's an old Dutch story of where the gentleman used to smoke his pipe up on Table Mountain, and he had a pipe smoking competition with the devil, and he beat the devil. So when they're smoking, that's the smoke, the cloud that's coming over. So that's sort of the old Dutch story behind that. I think it's Van Kamp if I'm not mistaken, but I'll go and check it out. But that's absolutely awesome. And then, I mean, your hotel was a little bit away from the venue hotel. But I know guys like with John, he was walking up and down through the city and to the hotels. How did you find Cape Town as a venue?
Yeah, it was really nice. Again, the hotel was close to the waterfront,
Yeah.
so I went down, and I don't remember what they call the waterfront shopping area. But I walked down there one day, and again, it was good for me not being at the venue because, again, my body weight when
Mm-hmm.
I got there, I was like a kilo over. So, having to walk back and forth just helped me maintain my body weight. And then, like I said, I had 6 days between lifting raw and then lifting equipped. So then I walked down to the waterfront and uh, went to the shops and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. And one of the things I thought was really neat that I kind of wish we would do here is your equivalent of an animal shelter.
Yeah.
They had pets. They had the dogs down there, and you could rent a dog for the day, like to see if you wanted to adopt that dog. And so there were a lot of people walking around with dogs from that animal shelter there, and they still had additional dogs there. And I just thought that was such a great idea because how many people are going to just walk into an animal shelter as opposed to all these people? They're with their kids, they're shopping, they're having a good time, and then they see these dogs, these
Yep.
puppies, and like, oh, daddy, oh, let me look at it, and then, oh, well, you can take it, for a test drive if you want. So just I thought that was a wonderful idea and something
Awesome.
I hope spreads to the U.S.
It's so amazing. You sort of come around the corner there. It's between these two big buildings in the open area where they've got all the statues of the people that worked for the transition within South Africa in '94. And then you got this dog shelter there, and then the carpet. You can play with the dogs. You can take it for a walk. I mean, it's absolutely. You can make a donation and fall in love. And I think it's been very, very
Yep,
successful. Yeah,
definitely.
yeah. I think just on that point, the one thing I do have to give the Cape Townians credit for is Cape Town has always been a very dog friendly culture, and it's very much about rescues. So there's not a lot of people, dog breeders in Cape Town. Most of the dogs that you're going to see out on the promenade, on the beaches, on the beachfront, are all rescues. So these amazing, all mixed matches of breeds and absolutely fantastic to see. That's really, really cool. Right. So you brought back a lot of medals, Mike. Can you tell us a little bit about how that went for you? Because you competed in classic and equipped, and how is that for you having those days in between? Is that important also in terms of recovery? And then tell us about the comp. What was that like for you?
Yeah, so it was definitely important to have those 5 or 6 days off, whatever it was, to recover, because you're there to you do your best
Hmm.
performance, and without some recovery days, you can't recover and do it. I really like and I appreciate the IPF with our age group doing raw first and then equipped. I know with the young people, I believe they do it the reverse,
Hmm.
and yeah, they actually did with the juniors and sub juniors. And I remember because I watch most of the IPF events and just thinking in my mind because they've got the bruising on the legs and stuff from the knee wraps and the squat suit. Like wow, that's because your CNS
Mm-hmm.
is taking a bigger hit on your equip day because you're lifting a lot more weight. And so I just think how they did it for us was definitely the model, especially for people that are going to compete twice.
Right.
That we need to follow.
Absolutely, and I think it's about enabling the athlete to rest, to recover, and bring their best game. You don't want to be you don't want to be competing with somebody who's hammered and wiped out. You want everyone there on their best, bringing their very very best game. You kind of did okay in this competition. I think you did nicely. Um, you know, you got a couple of trophies and stuff. So tell us about. Let's chat about the classic first. How was that for you? And then we'll go on to the equipped.
Yeah. So first, I want to say that I'm blessed. I really feel that God has given me the tools for this sport. I've loved sports my whole life. Played just about every sport. Played American football, baseball. Did gymnastics in college. But I've always loved weightlifting
Mhm.
and powerlifting, and so my stature. I'm not the tallest guy in the world, believe it or not. I know I look it in this video, but
Absolutely,
I'm
yeah.
not. And so God blessed me with, I think, two things: a stubbornness
Yeah.
and then a talent for this sport. Because as we talked last year, I ruptured the week before Worlds
Yeah.
of 2024. I ruptured my adductor tendon up at the hip, and I was, in extreme pain, didn't know what the future held for me for this sport. I was seeing specialists, how are we going to repair this? And after seeing a few doctors, they're like, the surgery is just too dangerous.
Mhm.
And there's more downside if something goes wrong than there is upside. And
Sure.
then with all the testing that was done, it was discovered that I needed a hip replacement. I had
Mhm.
injured my hip when I was a young lieutenant in the Army. I dislocated it, and I
Wow.
knew before I left active duty, they had told me I needed a hip replacement.
Sure.
But it just never was really an issue until that day, because when I was squatting, and when the tendon ruptured, I went down with all the weight, and it
Sure.
just put me in an awkward position and aggravated the hip. So, anyways, through a lot of prayer
Mhm.
and again stubbornness, and having a great physical therapist that like showed me how I could train, even though I couldn't really squat, but she got me squatting with box squats and no weight, and just we gradually built things up to, basically a year later. Uh, I I had hoped to break the raw or the classic squat record,
Yes.
and then discovered right before I went out for my third attempt that the Japanese gentleman had broke it a couple weeks ago, and I had old data,
Oh, wow.
and so it was like a couple weeks prior. So I was just like, well, let's just put a manageable weight on the bar and let's do that, because I knew
Mhm.
in a few days I was going to have to compete equipped, and you don't want to use all your gas in the first in the squat, when you still have to bench and deadlift.
Mhm.
And then I knew that I was going to have to do this all over again in a few days. So um, we settled with a weight that it's not what I wanted, but it got the job done. And then bench went okay. We got the world record in the
Yeah.
bench. And then deadlift, I knew that Mr. Barrios from Argentina, he was last year's world
Mhm.
champion, and he had the world record holder in the deadlift. So I knew that he was going to be a strong puller on that. And so yeah, it was good. It was good in that there was serious competition there,
Mhm.
and uh, I put good numbers, put good enough numbers together to end up winning. So I was happy with that.
Awesome. And we have a hello for you, a hey from Desmond Jordan. So your teammate, great
Yeah.
great to have him watching as well. Also had him on the show, which was fantastic. So
Yeah. I wish I could lift as much as him.
he's not messing around.
No.
Neither are you. Neither are you. I just want to clarify that. So I don't want to get myself in trouble here. It was great to see you win, and it was to take that title, and then a couple of little fun things just before we move on to the equipped. It was really special to have you there doing the announcing at the event as well, and we also then had the opportunity to chat a little bit for the stream. And I really do think that that's something that adds so much value when you have experienced lifters such as yourself sharing information with the audience that are watching, because it's not always, people may not know too much about powerlifting when they come into the competition, and online or in person. And that was huge. Was it fun for you doing the announcing? Did you enjoy it? Is this something that you want to do a little bit more, perhaps?
Yeah, I very much enjoyed it. And like you said, I think that it's good for, I mean, we're a sport, but we want it to be entertainment as well. And I
Yeah.
think we kind of get lost, and we have to make sure that it is entertainment, because that's the only way we're going to grow the sport is, the young people, or even, like me, I was in the sport a long time ago, and then I had to adult,
Yes.
and all those years that I was adulting, I wasn't competing, and then once I got close to retirement is when I got back into the sport. And so I think I can remember the days where we held meets in high school gymnasiums.
Yes.
So
Sure.
we've come a long way from that, and we still have some way to go. But I definitely think that the announcing portion of it is important, to draw people and to keep people in. I think you and I have discussed a few
Hmm.
things that we think we could do better to make the sport more interesting, and to keep eyes on it, especially during the intermissions.
Yes.
Um,
That's very, very much a big thing. And I think also, the challenge for powerlifting is those breaks. Okay, between squat, bench, and deadlift, you have an idea, but between the different sessions, you're not sure, because you can go quickly or you can go slowly. And I think that's, you got to keep the eyes on them. That's it. It is entertainment. If we want to get the sponsors involved, and we want to be working with sponsors to support the events, to support the lifters, you have to keep the eyes on the screen. You have to keep people entertained and give them real value. And I think that's something that is coming. It's something that we're working hard on as well. So really excited for what's coming up this year. It's going to be epic and a lot of fun. One thing, by the way, I just want to mention. I wonder if it could be a Guinness World Record where you have two world champions at Cape Point at the same time. Can you tell us a little bit about that? That was a lot of that. That must have been fantastic.
well, and here I was giving thanks to God a minute ago, but
Mm.
then this is probably my bad side of my personality. I really don't like when people disparage equipped lifting.
Yeah.
Um, it annoys me, because when, again, I started competing back in the 70s, and there was no classic or raw. It was, or equipped. It was just like you had to wear a singlet, and
Mm.
you could wear a belt. Of course, we've never been allowed to use straps for deadlift.
Mm.
Um, and if you had a squat suit, back then the squat suits were canvas. You could wear a squat suit, and if you had, and then when the bench shirt came out, which was not till much later,
Mm.
then you could wear a bench shirt. But those things were so darn painful that very few people wore
Yeah.
them. And so again, I went into it this year that I'm, because and then people just don't make comments about equip lifting, but they say, oh, it's cheating, it's this, it's
Mm-mm.
that, and it really annoys me because you got to be strong, and you're still having to stand up with heavier weight than you would if you were competing raw in the squat, and the deadlift suit gives you, I don't know, it may give you a couple pounds. It doesn't really give you a lot.
Mm-mm.
The bench shirt's where you get the most. But again, I at nationals at U.S. Bench Nationals last year, in the equipped bench, we had an individual, tear his tricep off the bone, and so the equipment helps, but there's risks
Yeah.
by using the equipment. So my mentality was like, I'm gonna uh, go out and I'm gonna show people that you can do that. I'm strong raw and I'm strong equipped. I'm strong because I put the work in.
Yeah. And
And
boy, do you. Yep. It, it,
so
sorry, go ahead.
no, that was just it. So that's why I did both.
Mm-mm.
I just wanted, and Mr. Burgos from Argentina did the same thing. He competed raw and equipped, and man, he did an awesome job. And I think, and it's more dangerous. What people don't realize, at our age, I'm 64.
Yeah.
That uh, I feel safer when I feel safer in the equipment than I do when I'm raw. And I tend to get hurt more when I'm lifting raw. Actually, when I tore my adductor,
Mm-hmm.
I was squatting raw.
Sure.
Um, and so and over the summer, and what no one knew is prior, like in August, like mid-August, I ended up tearing my groin muscle on that same side. And then when they were doing all their testing, they found a lump in my testicles. Not a third testicle, but just a lump. So, it was like, uh-oh, there's something else going on here. But again, that when I tore that muscle this summer, it was I was actually squatting the same amount when I tore my adductor. But again, I was squatting raw. So I found, and then like benching, it's usually when I'm benching that I have the most shoulder pain
Mm-hmm.
raw as opposed to equipped. It was a pretty tough summer for me. I had some falls, and I found out through MRIs that I had a torn labrum in my right shoulder. My bicep is where it attaches up here
Mm-hmm.
is basically split in two. One of my rotator cuff muscles is torn, and then the left has some damage as well. But part of that is that's just age.
Yep.
You put your body through things, and then other things is just being, like I said, being a knucklehead and falling down and getting hurt. So, but again, I'm blessed because I'm stubborn,
Mm-hmm.
and I pray a lot, and I take a lot of vitamins, and yeah, so I was, I showed up in South Africa, duct taped together, hoping that hoping to put on a good performance.
And I mean, and you certainly did with that. I mean, you took the title for the classic and for the equipped as well. And I think just to touch on the equipped, the one thing that I've learned over the years, and I think if anyone is speaking badly about equipped, it means they haven't had the opportunity yet to experience it. And I've done some very basic equipped bench, and it's an art form. I mean, it just, firstly, you're holding the full weight. You're getting no help from that shirt over your face. When you take it off, that's something to consider. You get no support with the grip on the deadlift as well. And as you said, as you come up out of the squat, you're losing all of that support from the suit the more you come up. So it's really, for me, it's almost like a separate sport. It's really it's an art form in all of these lifts. And personally, for me, I would encourage people to give it a try. And then suddenly you're going to go, if you're coming from classic into equipped, it's a whole other animal, and it humbles you very, very quickly. And I'm not even talking about the lifting. I'm just talking about putting the gear on.
Yeah, and it's your body has to find a new groove. It's because I try to keep my squat as close as I can, raw and equipped. But deadlift, if you're going to get any pop out of the suit, you got to get your hips lower than you normally would.
Yes,
because that's where your pop in the suit is at the bottom. You get no help from the suit in squat or deadlift at the top. That's all you. And the bench, I try to watch. There's not a lot of videos out there of equipped lifters. But there's one guy, I don't know his name, but his channel is Big Benches, and it's all about well, it used to be only equipped benching. Now he does raw and equipped, but he talks about you've got to ride the wave, and by riding the wave is like a lot of I'm guilty of it. When I bench, I don't explode out of the bottom. I've done so many years of bodybuilding, of controlled lifting, that I'm just going like this. But to get the benefit out of the bench, you've got to follow that explosion out of the bottom in order to get a good lockout and to hit the numbers you want to hit. And I've just recently really tried to incorporate that, and have seen some really good progress here in the garage in my gym. But that has to translate to the platform for it to mean anything.
So true. Yep.
This at the end of this week we have Bench National, so I'm hoping to really put on a good show for that.
Epic. And you guys are hosting Master Worlds this year. So Reno, Nevada.
Oh, I know, in Reno. Yeah, I'm excited about that. It's a beautiful area out there. Usually I've gone there for 2 different national events, but haven't really soaked in done any of the sightseeing stuff. But this year, again, my challenge to myself is to qualify raw and equipped. And if I do that, then I'll take that time in between both days to do a little bit of sightseeing, check out Lake Tahoe, and a few hours away, one of my soldiers is buried in one of the national cemeteries, and I will go visit him. And so that's like 2 of the things that I definitely want to do during Worlds.
That's very, very special. I mean, and important. On a little bit of a lighter note with Lake Tahoe, chatting with Coach Jim Brown earlier, and also with Desmond. Jim Brown is committed to jumping into the lake. Desmond has committed not to. Would you consider going in, taking a dip?
I won't commit, but I will consider it.
Okay. So I'm working. Yep. Sorry, go ahead.
I just want to say before I go any further, I want to give a shout out. I got a bad memory to Austin Perkins, because he motivates me. I see what he does as a 74.
Yeah.
And it's just like, man, if he can do that, I can do that. I watch his videos, and I wish he would produce more content, but man, he is so darn strong. I know my bench, just with I've had when I was on active duty, I got hurt in combat, and I had a bunch of surgeries on my left and right shoulder. My right arm was paralyzed for almost a year.
Sure.
And that's why I had to get surgeries on the left, because overuse,
Mm-hmm.
when I only could use my left arm, and I was still jumping out of airplanes. But he inspires me. He motivates me, watching him with his squats. And so anyways, I think I plan on staying healthy, and I definitely see some poundage increases or kilo increases for me this year on my squat.
Excellent. That's going to be awesome. We are absolutely looking forward to that. And for the upcoming year, so you've got bench national. What are some of the other comps that are coming up, leading up to Masters?
Yeah, so we have bench nationals beginning on Thursday of this week, I believe, and then running through Sunday. And then, of course, the younger folks will be going to Sheffield.
Mm-hmm.
And then one after another, we have in March, I want to say we have Open Nationals, and we have Junior Nationals in April, Junior, Sub-Juniors, and I also think High School Nationals. And then I believe Collegiate Nationals is squeezed in there. And then we have Masters 3-lift Nationals in unfortunately it's in the week, actually the dates kind of overlap Bench Worlds. So I don't know if that's the last week of May or the first week of June. I don't have my calendar right in front of me. So that made a decision for me where I did not to compete raw bench at Bench Nationals this year, because I wouldn't be able to compete if I made the team. I wouldn't be able to compete at Worlds because of 3 nationals going on at the same time that
I think
Classic Bench Worlds was happening.
I'm just looking now on the calendar. I think we've got it 22nd of May to the 31st of May. So that's in Poland. The bench.
Yep.
Yeah. It does.
So
sorry, go ahead.
Our 3-lift nationals is in Corpus Christi, and so basically I'm going to compete, drive back to San Antonio.
Wow.
And I'll take all my gear with me that I need, and then drive back to San Antonio with my wife. She'll drop me off at the airport, and then I'll catch a flight straight to Poland.
Okay. Wow. Okay. That's very cool. That's not messing around. It was sort of like with, I think in the last 2.5 months of 2025. So starting with Masters, we live streamed 6 international events and 3 provincials in 2.5 months. It was intense. It was like driving back the next one. It was absolutely amazing. But but it is a lot of fun where you come back from a comp and get dropped off at the airport to fly out to compete again. That's very, very cool. You mentioned gear, something I wanted to just ask about, and if you don't want to talk about it, we don't have to, but purely on a lighter side. There's something happened with the gear at Masters for your for your equipped lifting, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. So I invested in a new squat suit and a new deadlift suit this year. And previously, my old squat and deadlift suit were different colors. My deadlift suit was blue and black, and my squat suit was just black. And so,
good advice there when shopping.
Yeah, have different colored equipment. So we were in kind of cramped space for the warm-up room, and the young lady who was doing traffic control, trying to keep people that didn't need to be in there out, wouldn't let us get in there to do our warm-ups until the bench the next flight of bench people were done and out of the way. So we got in there and we were rushed. And I start my warm ups raw, and then then I'll put my suit on. Well, I just grabbed what I thought. Oh no, wait. So my squat suit.
Yeah.
So again, it was the same thing. We were waiting for the first flight to get done so we could get in there. And I grabbed what I thought was my squat suit and put it on, and it ended up being my deadlift suit. And the squat suit or the deadlift suit doesn't have a lot of pop out of the bottom. And actually, when I was warming up, I'm like, man, the weight feels really heavy today. So I actually adjusted my numbers down a little bit, because my intent was my second attempt was supposed to be 250 kilos, and my third attempt was going to be 260.
Right.
And my first attempt was going to be 240, and I'm like, wow, this feels really heavy. So I lowered it down. I chipped the world record, whatever that was. And anyways, on my second attempt, I felt a pop in my lower back. And I was like, I mean, it's like one of those bad kind of pops, and it hurt. And so I got 2 red lights. They said downward movement. I've watched that video 1,000 times. I see that I paused, and that's because of the pop in my back, but I don't see downward movement. But anyways, so it was a no lift, and then I went out for my third attempt, and my back was hurting so bad I lost my balance. And I just like, you know what, the juice isn't worth the squeeze on this. So I went ahead and re-racked. And so anyways, we do bench, and then I come back and I'm trying to dig in my gear for my deadlift suit, and I grab what I thought was my deadlift suit, and I'm like looking at it, and I'm like, this is not my deadlift suit. And I grabbed this other suit that's inside out and all full of chalk, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I put on my deadlift suit for my squat. And so
sorry for laughing.
I'm like, yeah. So I'm like, I can't believe I did that. So I tell my coach and our team coach and Mike Zielinski, and he's like, yeah, I noticed that. I just thought you were trying out something new. I'm like, no, man.
Just say something, Mike, please.
Yeah, just please. No. So I'm actually one of my wife's friends. She's a seamstress, and this week I'm going to have my wife give her my deadlift suit, and have her somehow, if she can dye it. See if I don't know if she'll be able to dye that material.
Okay,
but just dye it a different color, so I know, okay, that is deadlift.
100%. Much smarter move. Listen, but you still got it. You still won. You still got the records. I mean, that was really amazing. And I think that speaks so much to mental strength and the mind game, right? Where you just go out, you got to do what you got to do. And it's like, get it done. And, it's been so much fun. I absolutely love our powerlifting community, because since the new rules have come out, there have been so many videos of guys walking out like robots now. You can't, and like trying to be saluting the bar and doing all of these things because of the new rules. It's an absolute blast. But in reality, it comes down to the fact that it doesn't matter what's going on the day. Things are very seldom going to go right and are going to be perfect, and you got to get the lift done.
Yeah, I honestly, some of the rules, none of the rules I have an issue with. I'm not a showboat. I'm focused. I have a job I want to get done. I'm kind of like in my own head. So those don't negatively impact me. Some of the showboat stuff does annoy me. So like throwing the belt down, I really don't like that. And so I'm okay with that. and I'm also a referee. My questions is what's the consequences? You can't, if you make a rule, there has to be consequences, and
Yes.
or it's just ignored. So
Mm.
we as referees, what does it mean? I mean, if a guy throws the belt down, does he get a red light? Is he disqualified? Is it like, because even like we're told you got to ride the bar down, you can't slam the bar down. I've seen people slam the bar down. Now it was red lighted, but it's supposed to be automatic disqualification. You never see,
Yep.
and then or dumping the bar in the squat. That's
Yep.
supposed to be an automatic disqualification, and that never happens. So they get a red light, but they get a red light because they didn't complete the lift. And then on the deadlift, they do get red lights. So what are the consequences, if they showboat? And I guess now the traffic control referee, they're always checking to make sure someone's not doing their wrist wraps, that it's done before they go out there. They don't have earphones in. The chain thing, I'm kind of like, all right, hey, tuck your chain inside your t-shirt.
Don't bite the thing. That's
but,
yeah. Do you think it is interesting? You made some great points in terms of what is the implementation. It's like, and I do think there does need to be stricter consequences for dumping. I've been at internationals as a spotter and loader, catching 350, 380 kilos with the team, and we work well together, and you do it, but it's like, don't do it, and then you come out, the guy does it again, and it's another warning. There really should be. Don't dump the bar. And for me, I think seeing the guy slamming the bar, I get really worried for the long-term impact on the neck and stuff, where I've got photographs of athletes where the bar is bending in the opposite direction. They're slamming it down so hard. And I know it's a big thing and it's an energy, but I just think that impact is coming through your wrists, through your elbows, shoulders. It's something that you could be paying for later in life. And I think it's something that really should be avoided and people should keep control. On a lighter note, though, do you think, I was chuckling about this morning, Mark, do you think that the no sinking into the gut rule now is going to see a lot of the heavier powerlifters cut weight to lighter divisions because there's no point anymore?
I think that's, I mean, I was watching the sub junior worlds and then the open worlds, and I couldn't, they were red lighting a lot of the girls for heaving. And my thought at the time was, what's the difference between heaving and what Jesus Olivares does, sinking the bar? I don't see a difference. I did watch a video by, I can't remember his name, but he's a powerlifting fan. He has a channel, and he was doing stuff in slow motion and showing like Alba Bostrom how basically the bar doesn't leave her body, contact with her body, until her elbows are almost fully locked out.
Sure.
And so she's, by that point, she's got like 1 inch that she has to lock out. Where Jesus, his elbows are still parallel or just right, because when he sinks it, his elbows are way below parallel. And then when the bar leaves his body, contact with his body, his elbows are still parallel, and then he's got the full range of motion to lock it out. So I just don't know how you're going to ref. Are we going to say there's no sinking? Everybody has to do a soft touch. That's, I don't know. I see, because that's going to be left up to interpretation. I just see a lot of at local meets. I can imagine there's going to be a lot of split decisions because there's no jury. And then I really do see this first year that it's implemented, that it's going to slow the meat down,
Hmm.
because I think a lot of lifts are going to go to the jury.
Right, 100%. I suppose it'll be almost like looking for hitching on the deadlift. That if there's any indent in the skin, in the flesh, then that's a no go. That's a no lift. It's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens with that. And also, I think the rule that no one's talking about and moaning is assistants putting on knee sleeves. Do you see coaches messaging their athletes and going, "You're going 2 sizes smaller, buddy boy"?
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because again,
Mm,
I'm a state ref, so I do a lot of local
mm,
meets, and I've had, I just kind of like circulate around before the lifters start lifting. And I've seen a few times and I shouldn't say a few times,
mm,
maybe
mm.
2 or 3 times. And I'm like, hey, you guys, you can't do that.
Yep.
You can't have it with your sleeves. And so, and they're real respectful. Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't know.
Mm, mm.
But yeah, and the other thing, I think how that's going to get around is now with the full length singlet,
Yes.
you can put your sleeves on over the singlet. So I see that I would imagine that a lot of lifters are going to go to the full length singlet and then still have help getting their
Their,
their
sle-
knee
their
sleeves
knee
on.
sleeves on her, sure. Wow. Well, it's going to be interesting. And it's also going to be interesting because I think with the rules that'll are coming in with the singlet, that if you wear your full length singlet, you got to wear it for every lift. You can't swap it out. So I think we're going to potentially see that coming as well. If that, I don't think they've implemented that yet. But that's going to be. Can you imagine on some of those warmer comps that it's going to be a choice you're going to have to make whether you're going to stay in that
Yeah.
full end singlet. So really interesting times and stuff ahead. And listen, it keeps the sport interesting, and it keeps us, it keeps us on our toes. So it's something really cool. For me personally, I think to see athletes celebrating and jumping and cheering, it's a wonderful thing to see off the platform, so that you give the spotters and loaders a chance to load the bar. And I do think that's something important, having experienced that as well, Mike, like working with the teams. When you're working at a meet and you're loading, you want the athlete away safely. They can celebrate, but not falling down on your knees and kissing the bar and hugging the bar, and then you're standing there for 4 minutes with the jack waiting to waiting to get the bar loaded, and you're having that conversation in your head. Can I use the jack to move the athlete? Is that still allowed? Or
Yeah.
so it's going to be
Well,
fun. Yeah.
and then for the you don't really see it with the equip lifters, because they're all wanting to get out of
And
their gear
yeah,
as
as
fast as they
quickly
can.
as can.
You know,
Yeah.
especially on the squat,
Yeah.
you're like, oh my God, I
No.
gotta get these knee wraps off.
Uh,
But and it may again, going back to the whole knee sleeve and having help.
mm.
Now everybody's gonna walk like penguins,
Yep.
and that may reduce the
Oh man.
celebrations on the platform
Yeah,
as well.
you're going to just hop up on your toes. We may have to see coaches running out with a trolley. We just jack them up on the trolley and wheel the athlete off. A little bit of a Hannibal Lecter type of style. But yeah, it's going to be fun. It's really interesting to see what's going to happen with the knee sleeves, if things are going to be getting tighter, and the lifters are going to get pain. And I have to tell you, I'm not sure if I've shared the story with you, but when I did my coaching level 2 in La Manga, Spain, with Dipmar, and the girls were all rapping, and he was rapping the girls and showing them what to do, and like I was really impressed. And I thought, okay, let me try it. Wrap my legs if you don't mind. He did one leg, and about 12 seconds into that, I was like, right, this is not for me. Thank you. Off he goes. I have huge respect for equipped lifters. I couldn't. It was a kind of pain that you cannot describe. And you guys are walking out with smiles and then still going to squat and then walking back as quickly as you can. It's crazy. It's crazy. Uh, I think, can you imagine bringing in a rule that the coach can only release your reps once you're in the back? I think that would be terrible. Let's not even put that out
Yeah.
into the universe. Absolutely crazy. Just before we wrap up, and I've got to jump onto another call. Fortunately, but unfortunately, because I'm loving this conversation. What did you think of Cape Town as a venue?
I really loved it. I think the climate was just about as perfect as you can
Hmm.
get. Um, it was while we were there. I mean, it was your guys' spring, so it never got like overly hot. I mean, it was chilly some days, but um, you can dress for that.
Hmm.
I guess like the day of the marathon, which was the day that I was competing equipped, maybe
Hmm.
they had to cancel it because of the high wind, which was unfortunate for all those people. But yeah, I really I like the city. I like the proximity to things.
Hmm.
I went with John and we went to the see the penguins on the what's the name of that beach?
Boulders
Boulder
Beach. Yeah,
Beach.
yeah, Boulders.
Yeah. And then we went to the Cape of Good Hope.
Hmm.
So that it was nice because when we go to Johannesburg or we go to not I almost said Sin City,
Sunset.
um,
Yep.
Sun
Yeah.
City, but you're far away, you can't do that,
Yeah.
and so it was we were able we had the opportunity to go do that if you wanted to do that.
Oh,
So
absolutely awesome. No,
yeah, two thumbs up.
fantastic. And I think, the venue was a little bit narrow, but it was so special for us at the media table because we were literally right there. And it was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun with our overhead camera. We got some great responses from that, even with the squat and the deadlift, not just the bench. It was a great venue. And also having the lounge and the restaurant right there. What was that like for you as an athlete?
No, that was great because again, as you know, and probably the guys and gals watching this, you only have 2 hours after weigh-in
Hmm.
to do your recomp. So having that right there and be able to buy something, even whatever, it was real nice. There were two warm up. Well, there was one warm up room, and then there was a training room for the training room was even smaller, but you could use that as an overflow
Yeah.
warm up room if needed. And the people at the hotel were very courteous. It was good. I think for us, um, again, we're the masters were a different group
Hmm.
than the open people. So I think for us it was really nice. I hope people went out to enjoy some of the great restaurants that were there.
Yeah.
I went to an Argentinian steakhouse one night. I love Argentina. It's probably my favorite country outside the U.S. I did it when I was in the military. I worked there a lot, and I love their food. I saw a Peruvian place that I wanted to try out, but I never could find it again.
Oh
And
no.
um, I do know a lifter that went there, and he said their food was outstanding. And I spent a year working in the U.S. Embassy in Lima, Peru, uh, a few years back. So I was like, oh man, I'm going to get this, I'm going to get that, and then I did. So
Awesome. But I think we definitely need to have another comp there again. Mike, so I've got to jump off. I do apologize. My fault as well for starting late, but really thank you for your time, man. It's absolutely epic to chat to you and to catch up. And going to be working hard on getting to Masters now to come and visit. Got to go jump in Lake Tahoe. Got to feel that fresh
there
and
you
cold water. So that'll, when you hear a young girl screaming, you'll know it's me.
I got to go clean my best lifter award. So
Yep, absolutely. Best lifter awards. Hey? 100%, man. Thank you so much for your time, and we'll chat to you again as well. And then also, you and I'll just set a time just to chat off air and just to catch up as well, because it was great. It was great having dinner with you there at the Italian restaurant. All your friends, and it was really nice to spend time. And I think that's what I love about the competitions, is just spending a couple of days there. Cape Town's great because you can go out and do stuff and come back and hang out at the hotel with the lifters, because it makes it really special. So thanks, my friend.
Yep.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Cool. Thanks, Mike. I'll end the stream quickly and then I'll just chat to you quickly off air. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. Mike, thank you for that fantastic intro as well. It's good to see you keep your medal so clean. So there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Rodriguez, 2025 Master Equipped and Classic World Champion and World Record Breaker as well. It was an honor to have you on the show again, Mike. Thank you so much. All right, don't go anywhere. I'll be with you in a sec.